And we are live. Down East Prep Report with Chris Miller. I'm your host, Steve Goodson. Thank you guys, whoever's watching today, for joining us. And special guest is the head coach of the 4-0 Dixon High School Bulldogs, Kelly Davis. Coach, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
I'm going to slide that mic a little bit closer to you. 4-0 sounds good, but 5-0 sound a lot better on it.
Well, we keep saying let's just be 1-0 this week.
1-0.
I like 1-0 this week.
I like it. Well, again, thanks everybody for joining us today. We're going to start with a recap of last week's action. Then we're going to talk with Coach Davis about his Bulldog team and a couple of other things, and then we're going to get with Chris about his official or this week's matchups, and then we'll have Chris's official picks. How are you doing? You're doing fairly well, aren't you?
Yeah, I think I'm doing pretty well. I think,
okay. Have you missed?
I think I know my stuff.
The season's gone pretty much. Any big surprises?
Other than Dixon being 4-0?
That's not that's not a surprise, man. So anyway, so we'll get with the official picks after that, and we're also going to go over. You sent me some stuff, and we'll do it every couple weeks. Area offensive leaders, passing, rushing, and receiving. So Friday Night Lights are coming, and it's local football, and it's all right here on Down East Prep Report. And again, we want to thank our show sponsor, Marine Federal Credit Union. At Marine Federal, you're more than just a member. You're part of a community with personalized service, competitive rates, and a commitment to your goals. Marine Federal is here to help you thrive every step of the way. Visit marinefederal.org to learn more and discover how Marine Federal Credit Union can help you build a better financial future. So we thank Marine Federal and Jeff Clark and his folks, and we're going to kick things off with the recap of last week's action, and we're going to start with the Player of the Week, which is brought to you by Jason Humphrey and Down East Heating and Air Conditioning. And, Coach, this guy may look familiar to you. Senior running back Sean Delaney, Dixon High School. And we didn't do this because you were here. Okay. Yeah, that was not done because you were here. It was just he had a good game. Dixon 42, Southwest 20. Sean had 7 carries for 146 yards, 3 TDs. TD runs of 55, 10, and 7 yards, and 2 point after attempts. So you don't kick extra points, or just depend on the circumstance?
Depends on circumstances.
Okay.
Yeah, we were a little rough in warm-ups and pregame. Okay. And I always give the kickers the first opportunity, but if something don't look right, then later down the road we're going to go for 2.
All right. That sounds good. All right, so we got Dixon 42 and Southwest 20. And again, this Player of the Week is brought to you by Down East Heating and Air Conditioning. Down East Heating and Air Conditioning, a family tradition of quality since 1986, with locations in Jacksonville, Wilmington, and North Myrtle Beach. Down East Heating is the #1 Bryant dealer of the Carolinas. Home, office, garage, man cave, and yes, Chris, even a basement. Down East has the perfect system to help you stay comfortable during this football season. Head over to downeastheating.com and let Down East put their talents to work for you. All right, let's go over to last week's action, and we're going to recap last week's action. Besides the first one you see there, obviously Dixon 42, Southwest 20. I'm going to go over the scores, and then I've got some rapid-fire questions for you. So Northside 28, New Hanover 7, snapped a 7-game losing streak. Jacksonville 46, Topsail 6. Jacksonville keeps rolling. White Oak 32, Kinston 26, crazy finish. James Keenan 27, East Duplin 21, Swansboro 34, East Carteret 28. I was originally told that East Carteret won that game. How many did it just go one overtime?
No, it just went one overtime, and then Swansboro found a way to tie the game. They were down for most of the game, and came away with the victory. Yeah,
I had an erroneous report off of Facebook. I thought everything on Facebook and on the internet was true. Oh, yes. But I saw something Friday. I got something. Somebody reported it Friday night, and I think it was 28-21 East Carteret, but Swansboro. So apologies. But Swansboro 34, East Carteret 28, South Brunswick 28, Richland 7. Croatan throwing those numbers up there, 59 to Washington 14. Liberty threw 57 on the board against Bahrain 24, and Union 34, Lejeune 0. So that's 3 out of 4 weeks that Lejeune has been held scoreless. All right, so we're going to go back to the main screen here, and now we're going to do some rapid fire for you, Coach. You're more than welcome to chime in on any of this stuff. Right. So if you do, just talking to the mic, and I'm gonna give it to Chris first. This first one you might find interesting. Dixon Southwest, on a scale of 1 to 10, how scary is the 3-headed backfield of Galat, Delaney, and Lanier? Scale of 1 to 10.
Well, very scary. But also the offensive line is plays a huge role in that offense too. So I just think the entire offense is pretty scary and hard to defend.
Do you want to chime in, or are you going to be neutral during this?
I'm going to be a little neutral.
Okay, that's fine.
But I'll agree with Chris. Okay, I think we do have a really good backfield tandem. But it really does start up front with that offensive line.
Glad to hear, Coach. As you probably can see, I wasn't. We had Coach Sean Richmond here for Liberty a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about speed versus size. I obviously never would play 8-man football. Right. Just to let you know, I played at White Oak, and then I played at UNC for a couple of years, but never would play 8-man football. So I'm glad to hear you giving the offensive line props. Northside, New Hanover. On a scale of 1 to 10, how big was the win, snapping a 7-game losing streak for Northside in terms of confidence and program momentum going into conference play in 2 weeks, because they're off this week?
I would say 7, just because, and Coach Pollock recognized that maybe New Hanover wasn't as strong as they have been in years past, but you're still beating New Hanover, and you still beat them by 3 touchdowns. So it wasn't like you eked by. You were the dominant team throughout the game. So I would give it a 7, maybe 8, because it still is a good win. And I think Northside's going to continue playing well down the road.
Agree.
Okay.
Eye-catching for me to see, because New Hanover is, I've been here like 3 years now and learning the area, but New Hanover is one of those teams that you look at and you go, that's a good football program. Yeah.
So do they still have open enrollment in New Hanover County?
Yes, they do. Yes.
So if they haven't, let's be honest, people kind of go where, when White Oak had bricklaying, everybody, all the soccer players went to, or whatever. We won't go there. But so if New Hanover's down a little bit this year, just a little bit outside of, the area of football, is Hoggard the team to beat in New Hanover County, or do you know?
I'm not too familiar with what's going on with the Wilmington area.
Yeah.
But I do know this with the open enrollment. It's not a coincidence that every year you'll see like 1 year Laney baseball be just really strong, or 1 year Hoggard softball be really strong, and then the other year these schools are not really producing.
How come a man Wells can't get any talent over at Ashley for basketball?
Oh, he doesn't have any NIL money.
I know. I'm just messing. Coach, do you know much about New Hanover football? About New Hanover County football?
A little bit. My first year I was at Topsail, so I know about them a little bit. And I'll say I think it's just kind of spread around this year. It doesn't seem
so. Instead of everybody going to one school,
I think
the talent spread around.
I would say Hoggard is probably the team to beat out of the county.
Okay,
but I think Ashley's doing a really good job, down there in football.
Okay.
And I think it's just kind of spread out maybe this year.
All right. Jacksonville Topsail. What should scare a defense more? Benton running the ball or Washington throwing strikes to receivers?
I would say Benton, because I think Jacksonville's still trying to work on its passing game. I don't think they're really as strong in the passing game as they have been in the past. Mm-hmm. But Benton and even Pearson, the Amaris, they're both Amaris, spelled differently, but Pearson and Benton, I think, have formed a good 1-2 punch running the ball for Jacksonville. Yeah. But if Jacksonville is going to do damage in the playoffs, they do need a
little more balance,
a little bit more. Well, be able to keep the defense on its toes. And you may not have to throw the ball 20 times a game, but the 7-8 times you do throw, you need to be productive.
Did I see Friday night? Did your your stud quarterback throw a touchdown? Did he?
Yes. Yes, we did.
Like a 44-yard.
Yes,
I think
we did. Yes, I had to think. We actually completed 2 passes.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. White Oak Kinston.
Yeah, what a crazy ending.
Craziest finish this year?
Yeah.
For folks who live under a rock or haven't seen Brian North's and some other, and we'll get to that near the end. A lot of crazy stuff went on Friday night. Mm-hmm. Shooting up in the Tarboro, Southwest Edgecombe area. Mm-hmm. I heard New Bern's coach and
West
Craven coach weren't on. They're not going to each other's house for Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah, yeah, and but then this on a bright side on the field. Craziest finish this year. Tell the listeners what happened.
All right, so I had somebody keeping me updated of the White Oak game. He goes, yeah, we're down 26-12, probably in the early in the fourth quarter. Well, I kind of written White Oak out.
Never write the Oak off, man.
Well, and so next thing I know, about an hour later, the same guy texted me and says, "Hey, we won 32-26." I'm like, how in the world did that happen? So they scored,
and it wasn't in overtime.
It wasn't in overtime.
Okay, yeah.
They scored and then scored the 2-point conversion, all with 7 seconds left. Kicked the ball off. Kinston gets the ball, and something happens where there's 2 penalties, so there's an untimed down. Kinston.
So instead of just downing the ball and going to overtime, they try to win the game.
They try to get fancy doing the hook and ladder. And then a White Oak guy hits the pitch man.
Yeah.
The ball squirts out, and one of the Pineda brothers picks it up and runs like 50 yards for a touchdown to win the game. So a walk-off fumble return.
Walk-off fumble return.
Oh.
Wow.
But on top of that, you're down 14 middle of the fourth quarter, and you come back and win. So that's if you're White Oak, you're already kind of playing decent at that time, but a win like that can spark you.
Yeah, spark you. All right. Swansboro, East Carteret. Bigger impact: Beasley's versatility or the defensive stand and overtime.
I would say Beasley, Carmelo Beasley. He's the son of Rodney Beasley, the coach, and he's a great athlete. He was actually one of the founding members of the men's volleyball team at Swansboro. Yep. So great athlete, big playmaker, and but their bread and butter is him making plays.
Yeah, it's going to be, and we'll get to it. Interesting matchup this week, Croatan and Swansboro.
Yeah.
I don't know if there'll be any runs in the game, or maybe very few. We'll see. Liberty and Bahrain, more impressive, Liberty's offensive balance or their defensive playmaking ability? Well, I know you didn't see the game, but I'm sure you. Well,
I would just say offensively, because I remember 2 years ago, Liberty couldn't do anything offensively, and now they're scoring a bunch of points, and they're finding ways to win, and they're 2-2, won 2 straight now, and I think they have a chance to make it 3 in a row.
Coach, anytime you throw up 57 points, that's pretty good, right?
That's impressive.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
And you hold the other team to 14.
I mean, that's a really good night.
Yeah, that's a good night. That's a good night. Even my Onslow County math gets that one. South Brunswick at Richlands. After an opening week win over Southwest, what's been Richlands' biggest issue over the last few weeks?
Not scoring. I mean, they only scored 7 last week against South Brunswick, only scored 7 against East Duplin. And really, I mean, struggled offensively against Southwest.
Do you know, is it inability to, I mean, just like we talked about at the very beginning of the show, is the offensive line, is it not calling any position out, not calling anybody out? Is it grasp of concepts? Is it grasp of execution? Do you know?
Just being inconsistent.
Okay.
You'll make 2 steps forward and 1 step back, and that 1 step back is sometimes
maybe a big step.
Yeah, maybe a big step.
Okay. Union Lejeune shut out 3 times in 4 games. Do you see Lejeune's offense getting any better as the season progresses?
Unfortunately, no. I mean, I don't think the kids will give up, but they just don't have the.
We talked about that last week. Yeah. One thing that those kids will not do with their parents serving our country and being in the military, they will not give up.
They won't give up, but I just think you just don't have the horses that they had the last few years with the quarterback and receiver and a couple guys that transferred to other schools. They just don't have the horses. So, they'll continue to play hard, but I think they'll continue to They're going to try to continue to get better, but they'll probably continue to struggle. Moving the ball.
Croatan, Washington, with more intense conference games on the horizon. I'm not downplaying Swansboro, but with more intense conference games on the horizon, could Swansboro be a potential trap game for Croatan?
No, because I think Swansboro Croatan continues to be a pretty decent rivalry. I think a lot of those kids know each other, and
is that the Ben and Jerry's Bowl?
It used to be.
It used to be, so it's not anymore.
Yeah, it used to be.
The Mullet Bowl is Swansboro versus East Carteret, right?
No, the Mullet Bucket is East Carteret and West Carteret.
Okay, East Carteret and West Carteret.
Yeah, so no, I think Andrew Gurley is going to have his kids prepared. I mean, like I said, I think it's always a big rivalry between Croatan and Swansboro, and I think Croatan thinks has something to prove. I mean, they're all their opponents, like we talked about last week. All their opponents have been winless.
Yeah.
So I think they'll take care of business against Swansboro, and then they'll have a chance to show what they can do against Havelock next week.
And Swansboro, 2 wins, most wins in a while.
Yeah, they went winless last year, winless the year before, and then
won 1 game.
Won 2 games.
Okay,
3 years ago.
So when they win in bunches.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to clarify that. So this week's recap brought to you by SIA Group. For more than 50 years, SIA Group has provided protection beyond insurance, helping families, businesses, and communities preserve what matters most. They believe insurance isn't just about policies, it's about people. That's why SIA Group is committed to supporting local businesses and giving back to the communities they serve. Learn more at siagroup.com/prep report. And like I said last week, go to siagroup.com/prep report, because they've got a little poll there and you get to pick your team. You don't win anything, but you do get to help us. And hopefully they will continue advertising, because they want to see that people's listening. And by the way, just a plug, not a plug, but just a thank you. The show, man, is just going crazy, averaging between 12 and 1,400 views a week, and really that week is Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then we have some spillover to Saturday. I guess folks are going Saturday and Sunday to see if what you predicted is correct. But in less than a 7-day period, man, we're getting just a ton of views. I talked to one of the advertisers today about some stuff, and he's very pleased, and I've heard just good things in the community. So, Coach, I'm going to probably friend you. I don't know if you're on Facebook. If not, I'm going to figure out a way. I want you to go back and share this with Sneads Ferry. Folks are passionate about everything.
Right.
I mean, everything. Yeah. So we'll figure out a way you can share this link with the folks, and they can get to see you and your portion and your part of this, which we're getting ready to roll into that right now.
And people like giving me the business when it comes to the predictions.
They do. You receive several texts and phone calls and call outs, especially when you make not only predictions, but also for total number of wins in a season.
And football coaches are funny creatures, Coach. And Joe Marks, your athletic director, he'll get mad at me when I pick you guys to win.
Right.
But when I pick against you guys, he'll get mad at me. So,
always picking against us.
Yeah. He goes, "Hey man, pick against us." Okay, Coach, I'll pick against you. Hey, why'd you pick against us? Because
so who's the athletic director now?
Joe Marks.
Is Brandon Ball still there?
Yep, he's still there, coaching baseball.
Okay, just coaches baseball.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, good deal. I know Brandon from way back. So anyway, again, today joining us is Kelly Davis, head football coach from Dixon High School. And Coach, again, we appreciate you taking the time to join us. Before we get into the questions, just tell the listeners, the viewers, a little bit about Kelly Davis, your background, your family, what you enjoy besides coaching football, if there's anything you enjoy besides coaching football.
Absolutely. Appreciate you having me here. I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia. Retired from the U.S. Army. Started cutting my teeth in high school football down in the metro Atlanta area. Had a great mentor who taught me a lot about the game. I knew football, had played football, played Pop Warner all the way up. Even played a little bit of semi-pro in Europe. And so,
did you play semi-pro here? Because we got a question for you. Maybe did you play? Did you play when you were here in When you were in Goldsboro?
I was in Goldsboro.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Go
Back
ahead.
in the day.
Go ahead.
Yes.
We'll get to that one. Go
okay.
ahead.
When I retired from the Army, I got an opportunity to go up to an all-boy military school in Gainesville, Georgia.
Nice.
And it was really unique there. Learned a lot. And cut my teeth all around Georgia. Was a defensive coordinator down in South Georgia at one of the top 5 winningest programs in the state, and had some real good success. Got an opportunity to go to college. I went to Fort Scott College. Was a special teams coordinator and linebacker coach. So everything that you see on Last Chance U, that's all real.
That
is all real.
That's awesome.
So we had a coaching change there, and my wife's originally from North Carolina, and we had said when we wanted to settle down that we were always loved the Wilmington area, and we were going to – so we packed up from Georgia and came up towards eastern North Carolina. And Coach Teachy, who was at Topsail at the time, hired me to be a linebacker coach at Topsail. And we did that first year there, had a great we loved it being there. And then the Dixon job opened up, and some of the guys around Topsail were like, "Look, maybe you should take a look at it." And I was like, "Well, I thought I was coming here to retire a little bit." And then, lo and behold, same deal. Coach Marks, Mr. Eamon, the principal at the time, they interviewed me and brought me on, which is, it was really special because I know how hard it is to get head coaching jobs, especially when you're not from the area or you don't know anybody in the area. And that's kind of how it's been. It's me and my wife, and she's been my rock going all through football. So many Friday nights of her being on the road in Georgia and following us wherever we were playing, and then coming out to Kansas on Saturdays and see us playing. And so, being here, she's been my biggest supporter and helping get the program turned around. And we have a daughter, and we have 3 grandchildren, and we love to get them up. They're in Pensacola, Florida.
Okay.
And so they come up for games, and they love being Bulldogs on the side of the, on the sideline.
I was going to ask you filled in the blank question with the kids and grandkids.
Yep.
Program note, might not be bad to have the wives of the head coaches on to talk at some point in time if we want to get scooping dirt on them.
Yeah, I'm sure the wives wouldn't mind throwing some shade at
No, absolutely. So what high school down south in Georgia?
I was at Thompson High School.
Okay.
Out near Augusta is where the close to the Masters and everything.
Yeah.
Yep. So we came in down there. I was in Athens at the time at Cedar Shoals High School.
Yeah.
And then my buddy got the head coaching job at Thompson, and he said, "Hey, I need a defensive coordinator, man. Can you come down here?" And
I have a lot of really good, just through football, a lot of really good friends from Georgia. Know I don't want to say know a lot. Know a little bit about Georgia football.
Yep.
Different beast down there, man. North Carolina football, they take football serious here. Here in North Carolina, Georgia, different beast there. So, 3 years. So this is your 3rd year.
This is my 3rd year at Dixon.
All right, good. We're gonna get rolling. Dixon 4-0. How would you describe your team's growth in the last 3 years, or now into your 3rd year, and the team's performance so far this year? And the second part of that is, what has been the most significant factor in you turning the corner with the program?
So, initially coming in that first year, I got a little bit of a head start because I was able to come in the spring. And so that helped establish and just the relationship with that first senior group, because it's really hard. To me, the seniors either go one or two ways with you as the new head coach.
Oh, yeah.
They're either all in with you or they're just kind of, I'm here to play football, kind of deal. And we had a great group that really they bought into what we were doing. It was much different because there had been a lot of air raid and throwing the ball at Dixon, and we come in and start talking about, hey, we're going to run the ball and be a little bit different. We'll throw it for the opportunity.
We're going to talk about that in a minute. Yeah.
All right. Then the growth of the program, I have to give that first senior class a lot of the credit. They laid the initial foundation. We made the playoffs that first year.
First year you went, did you go 4?
We were 4-6.
4-6.
Yep,
okay.
4-6. Yeah. And we played Havelock in the first round of the playoffs. And
that was your reward.
That was my welcome to Eastern North Carolina. Yeah, here this is football here. So at the end of the season, that first year, we said I had to go back a little bit. I had one of the best and probably craziest stories of hiring our offensive coordinator and strength and conditioning coach, who's Mr. Bobby Williams, and he has done just a tremendous job in our weight room and the culture that we've been able to establish in that weight room. And so we got that first senior group to really buy in, lift weights, and go play. And me and Coach Bobby sat down before the Havelock game and said, we need to take these 10th graders with us to see what this experience is like for playoff football.
Absolutely.
And we took a lot of these, what are now seniors this year, they went with us on that trip to Havelock to see what it was really about and what it was like. Most of them didn't get a chance to play or touch the field, but I think just being there and that experience was big. We had a great off season going into our second season, and I think I had more expectations of what we were capable of doing. And last year we lost 4 games by a combined 8 points. We just weren't able to close out some games that we were either behind and caught up, or we were ahead and couldn't hold on. And I think that was another part of the culture, was figuring out how to win, a little bit.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So it was a little bit disappointing last season when the season was over. We played some really big games in conference and just came up a play short here, a play short there. And this group of seniors, they really met. Once the season ended last year in November, this group of seniors came to me and said, Coach, we're all in. We'll do what we need to do, lifting, and we're gonna do all we can.
That's awesome. So 2 things. Jonathan Bird, White Oak, the turning point. I mean, I know, intimate with the program. I played there. My brother played there. My nephew played there. The turning point for White Oak, Bird got those guys in the weight room.
Oh, yeah.
And that was, lifting weights and just bulking up and just being, you hear the term country strong, but not only being country strong, but just being weightlifting strong, man.
Absolutely.
Makes a point. Secondly, a lot of close, 4 losses by 8 points. No, you haven't had any close games yet this year, really, have you?
Well, first week.
The first week. Yep. But moving forward this year, the rest of the season, you're gonna have some close games.
Absolutely.
And that experience from last year is going to pay dividends.
Yep.
I think.
Absolutely.
So.
And Coach, I was going to ask you, the first game of the season against Topsail, you guys did have a pretty sizable lead. Yeah. Topsail came back.
Yep.
Did that doubt kind of creep in, like, oh, here we go again?
I think that game really, if you're asking me for a defining point, it was that game versus Topsail, week 1.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Was we had a big lead, and Topsail never quit, and they got a couple of breaks that went their way. We ended up going to overtime, and we went to overtime. I just pulled the team together on the sideline and said, this is why we do everything over the summer, to go win this right here, right now.
Man, gotta love that.
It was good.
Several standout players. This is our 4th week. Two out of the 4 players have been player of the week, but several standout players who are making a difference. Talk to me though about balancing the development of those guys and that individual talent, but at the same time keeping the team chemistry intact.
Well, I think that's part of our culture that we've built, kind of starting in the weight room. Like we have one class where we have a lot of our football kids in that class, so they're able to see each other lift. They hold each other accountable. We're able to just build that team camaraderie. And at the end of last season, we knew that we had something kind of special going offensively. We'd watch film and we'd be one block away here, or one something away here, where we'd get 6 or 8 yards, but it could turn into a 30-yard run. And this year, that's where those,
or it could turn into a 55-yard run.
Exactly,
like Friday, exactly,
kind of deal. And if you put all these guys, like again, all the JJ and Sean Delaney, and we call him Soda because he moved here from Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
So I used to call him Minnesota, and Coach Bobby's like, hey, Soda, get over here. So that's his nickname. But if you put all those guys in here, they would all give credit to that offensive line first things first.
I love it.
And that's what they did Friday night was you talked to the JJ and Sean, and they all complimented each other more than they wanted to talk about themselves. Yeah. So that was that's pretty neat to see when or hear when the kids are giving credit to their teammates.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It is.
So let's talk about it. Old school single wing, which isn't common in today's game.
Right.
What made you decide to go with this system, and how difficult was it, or is it, for players to learn and execute this as opposed to a different type of system?
Again, Coach Bobby's my right-hand man, and we said we were going to do an analysis of what we have in the school and what kind of offense we thought we could marry up.
What you have in the school as related to players, right?
Just athletes.
Yeah.
Yep. Or just walk in the hallway and say, hey, maybe we could get this kid in a year or two, kind of deal. And when we sat down, I had initially always said I grew cut up on wing T, and back in Georgia, and I knew wing T, pretty well. So I thought, well, that would be my base. So as Coach Bobby and I got together and we started talking more about it, it was like, man, we really didn't have a true quarterback that first year, but we had some athletes. So we sat down and Coach Bobby was like, look, we can take this thing old school and just go single wing where you really don't need a quarterback. You just snap it right to the athletes. It gives you an extra blocker, to be able to go do some things. Now, that is a little bit difficult in today's time to be able to go sell that to a 17-year-old. Hey, I'm going to need you to go in here and block this 230-pound defensive lineman or linebacker, whichever it is. But it was one of those where, again, back to that first group, when we won that first game, it was almost like the kids didn't know what to do. They had never experienced winning, off of anything. And it was like, wow, what do we do? But they had seen the success that we had off of, because we won that game based off of, our offense, held the ball.
Yeah.
The first 2 years we were big on, hey, we're going to milk the clock down and run the ball and get 4 yards and be happy with it.
So let me piggyback, and I don't mean to interrupt you. What the advantages of running this offense in the high school setting? So ball control if you're moving the ball.
Yep.
Okay.
I think, like you said earlier, teams don't prepare for it. Like, it's hard. It's like
it's kind of like running the triple option
when Georgia Tech was in the ACC.
Yeah, in ACC.
With Paul Johnson, it was exactly like, because Clemson and North Carolina, they had to spend a week out of the summer just working on that, and then they spent. Kirby Smart told me, he's like, man, we play Georgia Tech every year. He goes, we spend one period a day during the season to get ready for Georgia Tech at the end of the season. He's like, you can't simulate that in a week.
That's what you hear so much about, like the Naval Academy and Air Force or Army or whomever, when they play. The only time teams catch a break when they have a bye before they play one of those teams.
Exactly.
You just don't see it.
And it was good. You mentioned Coach Bird at White Oak. He started texting me that first year, and after we played him, and he's like, Coach, you're doing the right things. He said it kind of mirrored what they had going on at White Oak, prior to him getting there. And then Coach Bird, who was at Richlands, he was real complimentary of what we were doing and the kids. So hearing that from your fellow, coaches, it helps you, keep the confidence in. Because there's games where the offense don't do well.
Yeah.
If you're going against some bigger or, explosive type guys, it can stall out a little bit, but you got to be able to make those changes. And I think this year that's where we've been really good at, is we can tweak one guy's blocking assignment and it looks like we're running a completely different play, but we're not.
He read my questions, I think. So are there, and the question was, are there any adjustments or innovations you've made to this to keep opponents off balance? So it's tweaking a blocking assignment or a blocking scheme maybe up front or something like that. Maybe putting a man in motion or doing something to kind of make the defense kind of.
This week at Southwest, we had been practicing what we call our spread. And really all it is our one back just moves out 5 yards instead of being behind the tackle. He's just out.
Yeah.
And now we're running a little bit of, power still off of it. But you got the threat of running the sweep, off of it. And when you have a guy that can read it, now that makes it a little bit more difficult. Now you're defending a lot of things.
And Coach, when I talked to Zach Garvey, Southwest coach Zach Garvey after the game, he was complimented you guys about the offense, and he said, look, it's just a frustrating offense. Do you get that sense, like how demoralized the other team is when you guys are physically beating up on a team with that offense?
Oh, absolutely. Like the kids come to the sideline and they'll be like, "Coach, we're good."
Yeah.
They'll say, "We're good, Coach. We're good." You know,
that is awesome.
Because I'm sure if you're a defense, and you're. I mean, I don't want to say you're giving up, but you're like, how do we stop this?
Well, I mean, know, the other 6 teams in our region, our conference, a lot of them are spread, and you get prepared by playing everybody else. So you get to play us, and we're a little bit different off of it, and our linemen and even our backs do take a lot of pride in their blocking. They get pancakes, and we do all kinds of little things for them if they finish blocks off.
So something you said, and again, my first interaction with you, I followed the 3 seasons through Chris and reports, but something that you said that just more coaches in my mind need to do this. You guys came in and did an assessment of your player. You didn't come in and you didn't say, okay, we're going to sling the ball around. We're going, you came in and you looked at what you had and you said, what's going to maximize the players that we have and what's going to give us the best chance to win. So in 3 years, if Peyton Manning decides to buy a house at Topsail Beach and he's got a son that's in 7th or 8th grade and he enrolls him at Dixon High School, you would probably put in a pro style offense for him to sling the ball around, right?
It would be a heavy dose of power and then some play action off of it. Yeah. Absolutely.
But too many times I think coaches they come in with blinders and they come in with. I mean, nope. I'm not saying anybody in particular. But this is the way we've done it. This is what's made me successful here. This is what's made me, and they're going to run the type of offense or run the type of defense that has gotten them that success, and they just really don't pay attention to the talent that they have walking down the halls.
Exactly. I mean, it's probably, and I've learned, I've been around some really good, mentors and things, but my first head coaching job in Georgia, I banged my head against the wall trying to do, inside zone and bubbles, and it just wasn't working, so I knew going into my next opportunity or whatever it was, I was going to do what the kids can, and I have to be able to adapt to it as well.
And it wouldn't be Peyton Manning, it'd be Chad Powers.
Yeah, my bad. So we talked about culture and leadership, and that's the accountability. It's funny, and I think you would agree with this. A coach can hold a kid accountable, and the kid may be like, yeah. Another kid holds a kid accountable. More impact, right?
It is huge. Yeah. I mean, it starts for us we wear the same T-shirt and shorts. It says Band of Brothers on it. Nice. And when a guy comes into the weight room and he forgets his shirt or whatever, he stands out, and the seniors get him, and they're like, hey, you're going to do some wall sits for a minute or something. Like, you don't look like everybody else, And that's kind of that team mentality of
that's fabulous,
1,000-yard rusher, but, we're going to give credit to those offensive line because we wouldn't have nothing without those guys.
Man, I love you, Coach, man. I mean, I know Bo thinks the same way, and I know Bird thinks the same way, but I love to hear the offensive line getting kudos. So last question, and then I've got some rapid fire for you.
Okay.
Conference play starting Friday.
Yep.
What are your expectations for your team for the rest of the year?
I mean, we want to compete for a conference championship. I ain't gonna, that's where we're at.
I think it's all leading up to some. I mean, so the next 3 or 4 weeks are going to be some really good games.
Yep.
Really good games.
And for us, it starts Friday night. That's a West Carteret team that's very well coached. And you have to beat them. Like, they're not going to beat themselves.
And y'all had a shootout with them last year, didn't you?
We did.
It was a low-scoring defensive affair, wasn't it?
It was like 51-48 or something. Yeah. And they got us on a surprise onside kick, like right at the beginning of the fourth quarter. And
so that was one of those 4 losses that you had. Okay.
Yep. So our kids kind of, when we got the schedule, they kind of said this is one that we got to be ready to play, kind of deal. So
and y'all are going up. You're going up there.
We are going up there. Yep.
Okay. All right. Anything else before rapid fire?
Oh no, I just was going to mention. You talk about all the kids respecting and holding each other accountable. The one thing I did notice, and we talked about this early in the spring season, was you have a female kicker in Ava Burns, and great soccer goalkeeper, but. just watching the way your team interacted with her on Friday night, I mean, she's a respected member of the team. I mean, she's a football player.
Exactly. I mean, she goes out and kicks off for us, and she's a part of it, and she's made some big hits and made tackles that save touchdowns and things, and they realize she's a football player. That's the bottom line of it.
Nice. All right, rapid fire. One word to describe your 4-0 start. One word.
Awesome.
I agree. That's cool. You're like me, man. Yeah, that's it. Favorite moment of the season so far?
Oh,
I know it's early, and there's probably several of them, but favorite moment so far this season?
Having more points than Topsail week 1.
Most fun player to coach?
Oh, man.
And it doesn't have to be off this team. It could be off your first three years.
It's got to be our offensive tackle, Parker Woolley. He just makes me laugh. No matter if what kind of mood I'm in or whatever, he is a great young man.
Mr. Quotable, too.
Yes. And he'll do impressions and everything, so he'll get me.
All right. Player you think opponents underestimate the most?
Ooh.
Probably now, after 4-0 and after the building of momentum, they probably don't underestimate many. But anybody you think they may underestimate, and it may be, and it could be a skill set, like JJ throwing the ball. Or something. I mean, so anything you think of?
I would have said so to Sean Delaney before this week, but him breaking out like he did was really big. I would go to our center, Bodie Johnson. Bodie makes the offensive line calls, and he gets us to know who we're blocking on every single play. So he's probably the most underrated player.
Hardest position to master in the single wing?
It's got to be the one back that JJ plays because you got to be able to run, block, and throw and catch. Yep.
Would you rather see a 100-yard run or a 70-yard TD pass?
Oh, man.
Or a 44-yard TD pass.
Give me the run because that means everybody had to do their job.
That's right. Yep. Funniest player off the field?
Oh, man. I would say Parker Woolley. I'm going to say Cooper Lanier.
Okay.
Yep.
Which player seems like they could be a coach someday?
No doubt. Logan Copeland.
All right. For you, coffee or energy drink day of the game?
Energy drink.
All right. Your biggest coaching pet peeve?
Ooh. The kids will say, throwing your palms up at me.
Okay. If you could coach any other sport, what would it be?
Hockey.
Ice hockey, correct?
Yes.
Not field hockey,
ice hockey.
Ice hockey. All right.
The fighting aspect of it, right?
Yeah. Awesome. You got anything?
No, I just is that Lanier? He wears number 71.
Yes,
and you officially have him as a running back.
Yes,
and without giving too much away, part of their offense is they snap him the ball, and the offensive line kind of wedges together, and so he'll have 3 carries for 100 yards, and that's kind of what happened. But he's a running back wearing 71.
Yeah,
awesome. Well, Coach, this has been great.
Appreciate it.
All right, man. This is awesome. Looking forward to Friday night going to West Carteret. It's going to be. I'm assuming it's going to be a shootout. We'll look at your predictions. Tonight's guest or today's guest, we're brought to you by Moore Buick GMC. At Moore Buick GMC, it's more than just selling cars. It's about serving our community. Right here in Jacksonville, Charles Williamson and his folks are proud to support local schools, charities, and events while helping families find the perfect Buick or GMC to fit their lives. From rugged GMC trucks to luxurious Buick SUVs, you'll find a wide selection backed by friendly service you can trust. Whether you're buying, leasing, or servicing your vehicle, you'll always be treated like family. Moore Buick GMC, driven by community, powered by trust. Visit them today at their location on Western Boulevard in Jacksonville or online at moorebuickgmc.com.
And you touched on this earlier. We might have crossed paths about 20-some years ago.
Yeah, I was gonna come back to that. So when we were doing this, Chris said, "Man, I'm gonna ask him." Chris played. Well, you tell. I mean, you talk about it.
Well, we talked about it.
Okay. So you did talk about it. Okay.
So we you played for the Goldsboro. It wasn't the Goldsboro Bulldogs. It was the Bulldogs. DAWGS. Well, back when we had a semi-pro team in Jacksonville, Jacksonville Raiders. Me, Kendrick Pollard from Northside were on it. Greg Hampton, who passed away last year, was coach.
Did Coach Hampton pass away last year?
Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that.
So we played Goldsboro. It was kind of one of our rivals, so we might have crossed paths when you were on the team, when we were on the team. So just kind of when Coach told me when I first interviewed him, he said, "Yeah, I played for the Goldsboro team." And like,
What position did you play?
I played quarterback.
Quarterback.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. What did you play?
I was the backup quarterback to Kendrick.
Okay. So y'all never would have potentially collided. Okay. Both offensive players. So, all right, let's get into Week 5 picks. These are your picks. I'm gonna just go over the games. I got a question. Then we'll plop them up on the screen, and we'll look at them, and then we'll go over the game of the week. So, Week 5 picks with Chris Miller. Southwest 0-3 at White Oak 3-1. White Oak aims for its 4th straight win, while Southwest searches for consistency and its first victory. How much has Josh Smith's steady play elevated White Oak's offense?
Well, he's I think he's the head of the snake for White Oak. I mean, as he goes, the offense will go, and he's really elevated his game. Throwing the ball, running the ball, and throwing the ball, and throwing the ball and passing the ball, running the ball, and he's just having a great season. But other guys will have to step up if White Oak's going to take that next step. Okay,
Croatan 4-0, Swansboro 2-2. Two of the area's most productive passers square off in a Coastal Conference opener. Will this game turn into a quarterback showcase between McBride and Teal?
I think it has a chance to. I think both teams are going to throw the ball a lot. I still give the edge to Croatan. I think they're the better team. But there's going to be a lot of throwing, and depending on how many incomplete passes.
I was going to say, depending on incomplete, it could be a very quick game if there's a lot of completed passes, or a very long game if a lot of incomplete. I bet y'all's games are run, 2 hours?
You would think, but the last couple have seemed like they've lasted forever.
Yeah, the game at Southwest kind of did take a while.
Did it really?
But we have been able to get done in 2 hours.
Man, I love that. Dixon 4-0 at West Carteret 2-1. Dixon chases its first 5-0 start against a West Carteret team that won 51-49 last year. Can the Bulldogs single wing keep rolling against West Carteret's high scoring attack?
Well, I mean, Coach,
go ahead. It's okay.
Cover your ears. Like Coach said earlier, I think they're motivated. This game was kind of one of those games that the Bulldogs kind of circled on the calendar and said, "Hey, we want to get this game back." So, Coach, I think it's going to be a competitive game. You're right. West Carteret is well coached, and I do anticipate a high scoring game. But I give you guys the edge, 40-35.
Follow up question to that: game being close, difference. A turnover, key turnover, or on some sort of onside, some sort of special teams play.
I think if you're Dixon, I mean, JJ is going to get his opportunities, and so is Delaney. But I think and Cooper might have some of those plays that you have for him might be a difference.
Okay. Havelock 0-4. That feels very weird to say that. Havelock 0-4 at Richlands 1-3. Winless Havelock looks to break through against a Richlands team struggling to score points. Is this week the week Havelock's offense finally finds its rhythm?
I think this week is a week where Havelock's offense takes a big step. I don't think they're going to score 80 points against Richlands. Okay. Richlands' defense is pretty.
I was going to say their defense is pretty good.
It's pretty decent, but I think they'll still be able to score 4 or 5 touchdowns. They'll just have to work hard for it. But I think I think Havelock will win this game. Like I said, it won't be a 70-0 game, but it'll be a 35-7 type of game.
Okay. Liberty Christian 2-2 at Lee Christian 1-3. The Heat look to keep momentum going after back-to-back wins, including a 57-point outburst last week. How dangerous is Liberty Christian with Eddie DePaula, Logan Potting, and players like Sawyer Smith when they get rolling?
Yeah, well, I think they have a chance to be very successful this week and win their third straight. They've never won 3 straight. And
this is their fourth.
This is their third year. Yeah. They won 2 straight games last year and then dropped the next 5. Went winless in year 1.
Yeah.
But if they win here, they'll be 3-2, and then they play a team that they lost to in week 1 the following week. So I think they'll take care of business this week and move to 3-2 and who knows what happens after that.
That's awesome. Beargrass Charter 3-0, which Beargrass Charter, I did a little research. They're one of the best teams in that division, whatever the classification is now. Visit struggling Lejeune at 0-4. What progress does Lejeune need to show to stay competitive?
I just think score a touchdown.
Score touchdowns.
Just score a touchdown, or get the little wins. Get a first down, get some stops, and like I said, I just think they don't really have the horses that they had the last few years. But if they score a touchdown here and just show a competitive spirit, I think that's what's most important right now for them.
Okay. Well, let's pull your predictions up. So we have White Oak 33, Southwest 14, Croatan 42, Swansboro 24. Dixon outpointing what he better put that on there, Coach. 40-35. Havelock 35, Richland 7. Liberty throwing up another 50 spot, 56 at Lee Christian 12. And Beargrass 35, and you've given Lejeune 8. So you're saying Lejeune will score some points this weekend. Okay, or this Friday. So that's the score. Our game of the week, sponsored by Golden Corral. Billy Sewell and Golden Corral. Jacksonville 3-0 goes to East Duplin 3-1. Little shine taken off this game last week. James Keenan beating very good James Keenan team beating East Duplin. East Duplin's been kind of slow to start. So Cardinals, all business, 3 victories. They scored in the 40s in every game this season. They posted, and I think the key, what we talked about first half, you mentioned in your write-up, Jacksonville scored 22, 14, and 20 in the opening quarter, not even first half, but the first quarter. East Duplin only had 6 first-half points in their 42-20 win over Princeton, and were scoreless at the break in their last 2 games. So starting off slow. Jacksonville leads the all-time series 4-1. They first met in 2000. Jacksonville won 49-16. East Duplin won 27-26. And on a last-second field goal, and Jacksonville won 35-21 in 2018, 27-17. So that's the game of the week. So let's go right to your prediction of that. And you're predicting Jacksonville 21-13. So I'm gonna be honest with you, that's in my mind, that's a little bit closer. But you think East Duplin in battle is going to have something for them?
Well, I think look, East Duplin is always going to play hard. East Duplin's well coached.
Absolutely.
They're playing at home. They're going to be motivated after losing to James Keenan. So, it's going to be a tough fight. And if you look at the previous scores between Jacksonville and East Duplin, all these games
always
have been very competitive games.
Very close
even
games.
the games that you thought on paper Jacksonville was going to run away from them, East Duplin has made it a game. So, and it's taken a late interception here or a late score here for Jacksonville to pull away. I think I don't think it's going to be as easy as some Jacksonville folks think. I do think Jacksonville is the better team.
Yeah.
But I think if they take care of business, don't make the mistakes, and establish an early, at least a two touchdown lead, then maybe they'll have some breathing room. But the Panthers won't go down without a fight.
Right. I concur with that. I concur. I think Jacksonville will come out, and they're building for. I'm assuming most teams open conference play. Well, some this week, but then I'm assuming Jacksonville opens next week conference play. So they're going to be building for that. So this game of the week is brought to you by Golden Corral. They provided lunch as well. So Golden Corral, the only one for everyone. Dig into Golden Corral's famous buffet with mouth-watering wings and boneless wings in a variety of flavors. Save room for over 20 bakery and dessert selections. We got some cookies up there, boys. From chocolate and carrot cake to apple pie and their legendary banana pudding. Start your morning with breakfast at 7:30, brunch at 10, and dinner featuring carved meats at 4. And seniors, you can enjoy the early bird buffet with beverages at 1 p.m. And I am now considered a senior. Need to feed a crowd? We cater events from 10 to 1,000. Dine-in, take-out, drive-through, or delivery. It's all at Golden Corral, voted Jacksonville's #1 best buffet 10 years running in the Daily News Best of the Best. Call 910-455-3773 or visit goldencorral.com today. So thank you, Billy Sewell, and thank you, Dave Miller, not the Dave Miller from Jacksonville High School or the Catholic school now, but Dave Miller, his general manager there. They're great folks. So yeah, thanks for that. So little rapid fire for you before we get into the stat leaders. Rapid fire, true or false? East Duplin's Battle Holly has a few tricks up his sleeve, and his defense keeps this game close until the fourth quarter.
True.
More rushing yards Friday night. J.J. Galat, Josh Smith, or the field?
I'm going to say the field.
The field, okay. Over and under. Croatan and Swansboro QBs will combine to throw for 8 TD passes. Coach, you can chime in too anytime you want to.
Yeah, true.
True.
Yes.
I think so too. I was trying to come up with a legit number, and I was like, okay, I think 8 would be a legit number. That's just going back and looking. Which player accounts for more TDs Friday night? Accounts for more TDs.
Counts.
Yeah, could be throwing or running. Galat, Smith, McBride, or the field?
I would say Josh Smith for White Oak.
Okay. Over or under. Havelock scores 40 points against Richlands. You have 35, so you're saying under.
Yeah, I'm saying under. So
okay. True, false. Southwest continues the tough season this week, but because of the expanded playoffs, it will advance to the postseason with a first-round exit.
I think true.
I was trying to figure out a way to Southwest potentially will be 0-3 now, right?
0-3.
They'll potentially be 0-4 if White Oak beats them. And their conference play does not help them next week. They've got probably their tough. Would you agree their toughest?
Yeah.
They open with East Duplin next week. Yeah, conference. So from there on, maybe they can string some stuff together. So over and under 75 total points in Dixon versus West Carteret. You've got 75 right on the knot. How about that? So,
and Coach, feel free to use to motivate your defense. Hey, Chris Miller believes
you're going to give up those points.
Got it.
All right, Miller, best quarterback receiver duo so far this season.
I would say Northside, Gavin Davis, and then the quarterback for North. I just think the Northside combo has had a great season.
Is that game when you play them, or is it home or away?
We're at Northside.
Northside. Okay.
Yep.
How many? And I'm not. You play one game at a time, and this week you got West Carteret.
Yep.
Is that game on into the season, or is it?
Yeah, we have West tonight. Then we have a bye. Then we have Swansboro.
Okay.
Then we have Northside.
Reginald Gray for Northside is the quarterback. So Gray.
Yeah. Reginald Gray.
Reginald, and then Gavin Davis.
Yeah. Reginald was our player of the week, the first week of the season. Most underrated player that everyone in our area should know.
Most underrated player?
Most underrated player.
That is a I would have to say, I mean, I'm not just saying this because of Coach, but I would say one of them probably have to be Parker.
Yeah.
For Dixon.
Okay.
Just because he's a leader of the offensive line, and I think kind of as your offensive line goes, Coach, kind of the Bulldogs go.
He is.
The most explosive playmaker in the red zone in our area.
The most explosive. Oh, in the red zone. I would say Josh Smith for White Oak.
Okay. Bigger impact so far this year in our area. Bigger impact. The underclassmen or the upperclassmen? Ooh. And I came up with that question because a lot of kids from Northside are young. I mean, the quarterback's young, and you've got some other underclassmen that are doing some really good things. So, but who's making the biggest impact in the area as a whole, the upperclassmen or underclassmen?
Well, I mean, I think you would still have to say the seniors with JJ and Sean,
Josh Smith,
the Jacksonville seniors that are doing well. But again, I mean the Northside juniors are really doing well. Yeah. Gavin and some of those other guys. So it's a little bit of a combination.
Okay. Most improved team since week 1.
Oh, since week 1. Yeah, that is a hard one. I've had.
To me, it's an easy one. I got a good one here because you're not Liberty Christian.
I think you're right.
Most improved team.
I think you're right.
All right. Which team has had the most demanding schedule so far this season, or who's been tested the most, in your opinion?
Probably Northside. Northside, and they've had the toughest schedule the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
And I think when you talk to the Northside folks, they kind of took their lumps.
Yeah.
Over the last several years, and especially with those guys being freshmen and sophomore on varsity, really took their lumps, and now they're kind of reaping the rewards of that demanding schedule.
And I know they played New Hanover last week, but this is the first year. Normally they run the gauntlet with. I mean, they played New Hanover, Hoggard, and Laney, didn't they? Didn't they play all three in the past?
And when Clinton was good.
When Clinton was good. So, all right, last rapid fire. Bigger stories so far this season: the blowouts, the comebacks, or the last second wins.
Oh, that's man, you throw some fastballs.
I'm throwing some fastballs in there, ain't a bud.
Yeah, we've had some exciting finishes. So I just think that's what people are going to remember. People are going to remember that White Oak win. The Dixon folks are going to remember the win over Topsail, and wins like that. So I think
the East Duplin overtime win against Richlands, that was a big one. So all right, I'll let you off the hook. You got to remember next time when you go and think this is rapid fire. We got to trying to move quick. All right, let's go into the stats, and you guys probably can't see these. I'll turn it around a little bit. Well, you gave them to me, so you should have them. Area offensive leaders leading the passing is, of course, Reginald Gray from Northside, 53 for 81, 726 yards, 9 TDs. Kevin Till, Swansboro, 6 TDs and 683 yards. McBride is third with 14 TDs. The thing that got me about McBride, though, I'm not good at math, I'll be honest with you, but he's 49 for 61. I don't know what percentage that is in my mind, but that's pretty good.
That's good.
That's pretty good. Eddie DePaula from Liberty is throwing for 6 touchdown passes. Josh Smith, 4 touchdown passes off of 313 yards. And Anthony Washington, Jacksonville, 3 TDs off 259 yards. Rushing, that's a little bit smaller type. I hope y'all can see it. If not, blow it up. JJ, he's passed 1,000 yards already.
Yep.
That's in 4 games. Yep. That's freaking amazing, man. 90 for 1,048 and 11 TDs. Josh Smith is at 5. He's almost doubled him up. 568, 5 TDs. Then you got the Davis kid from East Duplin, 423. We're still great stats, but JJ is just. He's doing it, man. Most fun position to play, JJ's position. 7 TDs. Andrew Boucher from Croatan. You'll see his name actually. He must be a pretty versatile player because he's also in the receiving. There's Sean Delaney, our player of the week. He's right at 400 yards and 6 TDs. Jim Ness from White Oak, East Duplin. Kind of. You can see the mix right there. White Oak and Dixon run the ball.
They do.
Run the ball, yeah. Then we come on down. We've got a couple kids from Jacksonville, Eddie DePaula from Liberty, and then the Anderson kid from Northside. Receiving, no surprise here, Gavin Davis is for 345 yards and 5 TDs. Carmelo Beasley, we talked about him, has had 16 catches for 394 yards and 2 TDs. Another Swansboro player, Armstrong. Then we come down with Richlands, Carson Luttrell. Hasn't had a touchdown yet, but he's caught 12 balls for 154 yards. Croatan, Northside, Richlands. Coach, where's the Dixon player? What's going on?
Well, we're explosive plays more than we are. We want that 40-yard TD pass.
I understand. Yeah, this is based on the number of receptions.
Yeah.
So you don't. You'll just catch 2 balls for 100 yards, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
So yeah. So anyway,
and I'll say this from a media perspective, you much rather be at a high school football game where there's a lot of running the ball instead of throwing the ball, because you want to try to get it out of there quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's going to do it for football. Now, something I have not prepared you for, I just want to know if you've got 5 minutes really quickly. I have been catching a little grief about this. Can you recap real quick just things going on, soccer, volleyball, cross country. Can you hit on some other high school sports real quick just to talk about that, because this is focused on football, but I do a podcast on Sunday nights, two men and a six pack, with some soccer coaches, and they're giving me a little grief. So can you talk a little bit about other high school sports going on?
And I will say this: next week we only have 4 games on the local schedule for football.
So we maybe can do some more high school.
Maybe we can get Mahowchik on next week's show.
Okay.
And, because everybody else has a lot of people have an open date next week. Okay. So Jacksonville Soccer's got a game tonight against East Duplin. Like they're doing well. I think they lost the other day to Laney, but they have a chance to do really well. They beat Northside last week in a very emotional and intense game.
Yep.
So they're doing well. You really don't have that one soccer team that really stands out. In years past, you could say, okay, well, this Jacksonville team is the best by far.
Yeah.
Northside lost yesterday to Croatan. That was Croatan's first win. They were like 0-9.
Well, all their players are playing football.
Yeah, all their players. Yeah. So, like I say, you don't really have that standout soccer team that's real. Okay, they're going to go to the state championship game.
Tougher soccer conference, the Jacksonville White Oak Conference or the Dixon Northside Croatan?
I would say the Jacksonville White Oak one, because you have J.H. Rose and some of those Greenville teams. So New Bern's having a good season so far. But I mean, Croatan, I think, is the most dangerous team. They're 1-9, but they've played a tough schedule.
Yeah.
Dixon's doing well. They're 6-3. They beat. I
was Dixon traditionally when Gray, my son, was in school, played soccer. Dixon always had real good soccer teams. Carter Phillips, Chris Brown, those kids. So
Richlands is 8-0-1. They're undefeated, but they haven't really. They've played some decent teams, but they haven't really played the upper echelon team. They did play Jacksonville, tied them a couple weeks ago, but they really haven't played that really strong team yet.
So when they get into conference play, it'll start.
We'll see how they do. So
and they still play home and homes, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So in the conference, yep. And then so we'll with this new realignment, you could always, at this point of the season, you could always say, okay, well, Richlands is going to do this, Dixon's going to do this, but with 8 state playoffs now, who knows?
Well, and it's very telling as well. Even though you said Croatan was 1-9, the way that they're seeding, just like the way they're doing the seedings, based on the RPI, whatever the RPIs or whatever, if somebody is 10-1 right now, but they beat whoever, some school for deaf and blind or whoever, they beat somebody, badly, that's not going to hold as much credence as other teams, right?
And speaking of soccer, if Alec Gustafson is listening, tell your Chelsea team to go easy on my Bayern Munich team today.
In the
Champions League.
Champions League, yeah. Gray was texting me about that earlier. If I had happened, now that sports betting is, don't need to get into this, I guess here, but now that sports betting is legal in North Carolina, my son was texting me wanting to know if I had looked at the games, and I said no. So, due diligence, real quick. I would Title IX. I'd be totally bad. Talk about volleyball, please.
No, volleyball. It's competitive. Again, you just don't have that one team that really, really stands out. Jacksonville is kind of up and down. East Duplin, I thought, was one of the better teams, but they've lost to Wallace Rose Hill, lost to Liberty Christian last week.
Yep, saw that. Sean was excited about that.
Yeah, and then Jacksonville Christian has a competitive team, but they lost to Southwest a couple weeks ago, but credit them for playing a couple of the public schools.
Swansboro, how are they?
Swansboro is having a good season. I didn't see how they did last night against West Carteret, but they went in that game with 9-1, so they have their better team, best team that they've had in recent years. Again, I just like soccer, in most years you could say, okay, well, I think Swansboro has a chance to make it to the second round or third round, but I just think with a lot of sports you're going to have, I know it's probably going to sound bad, but you're going to have some average teams.
Well, we talked about that. We talked about you may have especially in soccer. Well, and again, not stereo. This when you get into the spring and you have girls soccer, you may have a 1-14 team make the playoffs just because of the expanded playoffs, right? Yeah.
So I think in a lot of sports, volleyball, soccer, your basketball, I think you're gonna have teams with kind of 500 records go far in playoffs again because of everything's kind of watered down and a lot of there's not going to be so many good teams in the brackets.
And I don't even need to ask you which conference is going to have a better volleyball deal. Jacksonville White Oaks Conference.
Oh, with the green,
with the Greenville schools. My daughter played volleyball in White Oak for 4 years, very successful during her time there, went the farthest in the playoffs they ever went. And their unfortunate demise was in one season they lost 6 matches. They went 20-6, and they lost 3 matches to South Central and 3 matches to D.H. Conley. Didn't lose anybody else. So
they take their volleyball serious.
They take it very serious. She played junior Olympic volleyball with several players up there from the Greenville area. So I know that's going to be. Even though the other West Colorado had some really good teams, Swansboro always has good teams. Dixon traditionally has good teams. So just knowing that, but just knowing South Central and D.H. Conley and J.H. Rose is in that conference, that's pretty stout from a volleyball perspective. So so we'll try to expand on that next week. Anything else for the coach, or anything else for our viewers?
No, I think it's going to be a fun second half of the season. Can you believe we're already in week 5 of high school football season and conference play? I think I think a lot of people in that Coastal Conference are kind of chomping at the bits because Havelock seems to be down. I think they'll continue to get better. They'll continue to get better. But I mean, if this is the year, if you're going to beat Havelock, this is
this year to do it. Well, I am. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to get about 10 degrees cooler. Coach, anything else you want to say, man?
No, appreciate you having me. Love talking high school sports.
I think it's something that we, as a community, we've really lost focus on. And this guy right here, I'll tell everybody, part of my passion. I retired in May, have some time on my hands now. I've just always admired what Chris has done. He's doing things on a shoestring budget, and and when I had the opportunity and we had the chance to do something like this, I think our community deserves it, but I think our kids deserve it. I think our kids deserve to. No, there's not a bigger thrill than hearing your damn kid's name called out during or reading your kid's name in the paper or seeing it on TV
PA
or whatever.
System, whatever it is,
so when we had the chance to do this, I thought it was great. So, well, that's going to wrap it up for Down East Prep Report show with Chris Miller, brought to you by Marine Federal Credit Union. Thanks for joining us today, Coach, and for some great conversation. I just want you to know, man, I'm pulling for you.
I appreciate it.
I'm really sincere, and I said it with Sean here, and I said it with Bo last week, said it with Bird, but I mean, you're making movement down there. Historically, when I was in school, Dixon won 3 or 4 games a year. It was awesome. Now, man, you're moving that bar, and I think it's awesome, and I'm pulling for you. And of course, big thanks to Mr. Miller for his breaking down all the matchups and his predictions. And again, thank you, our show sponsor, Marine Federal Credit Union, where you're more than just a member. You're part of a community. Visit marinefederal.org to learn more and discover how Marine Federal Credit Union can help you build a better financial future. Same time, same location next week. We'll have a full recap of this week's action. Our player of the week, brought to you by Down East Heating and Air Conditioning, and a preview of Week 6 matchups, including our Golden Corral Game of the Week. And rumor has it we might have another head football coach. Are we going to have someone next week, or are we going to go with a soccer coach maybe?
Yeah, we'll see if we can get maybe Joey next week.
Okay, we'll mix things up. And I was thinking, and I know it's tough for kids because they're in school, but love to get JJ here. Would love to get Josh here. Great article, by the way, in the Daily News, I saw it online.
No, well, thank you.
Saw it online about Josh. So something we need to potentially think about. Maybe we can. I know you're busy at night, but maybe we can get a kid over here and record it and play it back later or something. I don't know. But anyway, for Chris Miller, I'm Steve Goodson. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you under the Friday night lights. And that's going to do it for us.